to keep in mind as we move forward. To name a few, one is the industry captains. The industry captains on both sides, whether US and India, have a significant role in furthering ties. The other set of stakeholders would be the bureaucracy on both sides and understanding the two different systems and how to continue to find convergence so that there's value created for both systems. Then, of course, is the political spectrum on both sides and, shared democratic values and principles and continuing to make sure that converges in the future. I think media and the great work that you're doing in terms of enhancing the visibility and the commonality between the two nations and trying to make progress, that has a very significant role at large. And then, of course, I do feel that no matter which field, whether it is IT or defense or finance or healthcare, I think the Indian diaspora has come to the forefront. And so anything that can be done to encourage and to highlight the good work that's been going on will certainly help in this process.
And while there may have been several of these fora, these clubs, these platforms that may have been created to build about the community and the stronghold that it has at this point of time in various continents, America, especially when you talk about, because you've been living there forever. And at this point of time, there are only just a handful of individuals. You will talk about a Sundar Pichai or you talk about a Sunil Mittal that people have heard of and they are recognized. And beyond a point, you just, you don't have a choice or you are just trying to struggle to figure out names of the Indian Americans or the Indian Europeans or those who are living in Africa or Asia or Australia who've done fantastic work. So is there already something that is being built at this point to recognize these people who are doing fantastic work, but at the same time are not as recognized as their counterparts in, say, a Pichai or a Mittal? And if there could be a push that could be taken in that direction to bring about this entire experience, to amplify their voices, to celebrate and recognize their feats and bring them on global arena.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to get those unsung heroes identified and showcased, if you will, that have not only bettered the economy of whichever country they're living in or bettered the living conditions for people in the community, but also, on a bilateral basis or a multilateral basis. And so to give those folks a voice and be an inspiration for the next generations to come to see all the work that has been done, I think there is a certain vacuum, if you will, and I do feel that needs to be filled. I think there are various chambers of commerce and associations that try and highlight that in the different countries. Mm-hmm. But still, I think the road is long ahead and there's a lot that can be done in that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vivek, for joining me on this very special broadcast. We'll continue to have you on our special shows in the future as well. Well, for that moment, this is Megha signing off from VaKu, NewsX VaKu. Continue to watch this show. Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX VaKu. My name is Megha Sharma, and joining me on the broadcast is an Indian-American tennis player who has shaken the entire world around him. He won the Junior Wimbledon Boys just a few weeks ago. It's good to have you, Samir, on the broadcast with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First of all, congratulations for this massive feat. You're the third Indian to have won the Wimbledon Junior Boys, and the entire country and the entire Indian community overseas as well as celebrating it with huge gusto.
Thank you. Wow, that's great. That's great.
It has you. I've read your interviews. I've seen your interviews. Now you are quite the rage over here in India. I mean, every single Indian celebrating your achievement, your feat. You started off back when you were 5 years old. how did this entire journey of becoming a tennis player, dreaming about becoming a tennis player, this tennis prodigy, and finally successful in the stepping stone of achieving the title that you have?
Yeah, no, I mean, it took a lot of work. Obviously, I just started playing recreationally when I was young, and then I had to work up the age groups, the levels. I went from like local tournaments to sectional to national, and now international. So it's no, it's great that I've been able to reach the highest level in junior tennis in the world, and I think it motivates me a lot to try to crack the men's tour.
Well, absolutely. And you have quite a few tournaments that are upcoming as well. And you're going and putting your best foot forward, and all the best for that. But what do you make of all this sudden adulation that is coming your way? You're getting this recognition, you're getting this fame. How does it feel like?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very different from what I'm used to. I'm usually not the most outgoing. I usually try to keep to myself. So when people come up to me on the street or recognize me and talk to me, I think it makes me branch out. And I'm pretty grateful. I think I've been hearing this pressure is a privilege, and to have this pressure and have this fame, I think it's not everyone has it. So I think it's very good.
What was the first reaction of your parents? They are both of Indian origin. They migrated to United States, had a tough life, built a legacy for you. How are things with them? What do you have to say?
No, they were very happy. I mean, my parents, they usually get pretty nervous. My mom is pretty nervous when I play, and my dad is just very focused on my match. So they weren't watching together. My dad was watching by himself, and my mom actually didn't watch the match live. She watched it after. But no, I mean, they were thrilled. Obviously, they were very surprised because they didn't think I would be able to get there. It was kind of a run out of the blue, but I think they're taking everything in stride, and they're very happy with how it's going. And yeah, no, they're thrilled.
Were your parents not at the tennis grounds when the match was happening? Was the pressure too much for them?
No, they were back home. I didn't go with my parents. I just went with my uncle. But my parents were back home the entire time I was there. But yeah, no, they were definitely nervous, I think. But I think after I kind of found a groove, they settled down a bit.
So can you talk to us about your roots in India? How have those roots impacted you as a human being, as an Indian American who's now building this massive career for himself in tennis?
Yeah, no, obviously with my Indian roots, it's very important to me. And even in the US, I live in an area with a lot of Indians. So it's pretty cool. So I'm around them a lot, and I mean, I love Indian food. Both my parents are Indian, so it's like, obviously it's a big part of me. So I mean, it's yeah, I'm really touched by how many Indians have shown me support. India, even though I don't represent India, they've been very supportive, and people who live in India, apparently they're very, very happy for me. So I really appreciate it.
Isn't it also a massive responsibility on your shoulders now that you have gone ahead and won this huge title, the Wimbledon Juniors Boys title? Expectations are going to be manifold for you.
Yeah, obviously the pressure will be more. There will be higher expectations, but I think like everything around me is changing. But I'll try to stay the same. I'll just try to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully keep playing good tennis. But yeah, like I said before, pressure is a privilege. So I think I enjoy feeling the pressure.
Mhm. What are your future plans immediately in the next 6 months? How long till you actually find yourself a space in the big uh, tennis tournaments that happen season by season across the world?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm gonna finish my year of juniors this year. This is my last year, and then also throw a bunch of pro events in and see how I'm doing, and then yeah, I think I'm going to be playing a lot more pro events and just trying to see if I can play at that level. And if I can, that's great. And if not, then I'll probably go to college.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of news with regards to a lot of athletes, including the name that came out of Simone Biles. She decided to let go of the Olympic tournament in the middle because she was not able to deal with the stress. She was not able to deal with the mental pressure. Then Ben Stokes was taken an indefinite break from cricket due to ensure that his mental well-being is intact. What do you make of the kind of pressure and the mental pressure that athletes, tennis players, Olympians at this point of time who are playing in Tokyo Olympics 2020, the pressure is immense. What do you make of the balance that needs to be brought about when it comes to the mental well-being, physical well-being, and giving your top performance on the field?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think every athlete is different. Every athlete copes with wins and losses differently. And I think in Simone's case, in individual sports, I think it's even more tough because it's all on you. And especially, and I played Wimbledon. It wasn't as big as the Olympics. The Olympics, you're carrying you're supporting your nation, you're representing your nation. So it's a lot more pressure, but obviously I think, yeah, if you're not feeling comfortable, if you're not in the right headspace, then I don't think you'll be able to compete your best. So I respect the decision of whoever would take a break from sports to take care of mental health.
You also, from time to time, ensure that your mental well-being and your physical well-being is in the right balance. What exactly do you do to ensure that you are in the zen of the positions to fight out these kind of pressures, especially when you're playing the match?
I mean, I don't really take mental breaks, but mental health breaks, or I respect whoever does. But I think for me, the best way to cope with any nerves or pressure I'm feeling is to just go out there and play. I think if I think about it too much, if I get in my own head, then I'll just get more nervous, and sitting out would probably be even worse for me. So my best coping mechanism is to just go out there and play.
Okay. Who's your role model when it comes to the game of tennis?
Novak Djokovic. I think he's my role model in tennis. I try basing my game off of him, and I just think he's the most complete player of all time.
Are there any plans of coming to India in the coming months or perhaps 2022?
Yeah, possibly in the coming months. Maybe I think I might play some futures there, possibly if there's in Delhi or wherever. But yeah, in 2022 I might come as well. I think not even just for tournaments, maybe just for vacation. But we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And also, were there a lot of congratulatory messages that were coming in from the tennis greats, especially in India, when it comes to Mahesh Bhupathi, Leander Paes, Sania Mirza? They were all extremely happy and showcasing and rejoicing for the fact that an Indian origin boy living in America has yet again achieved that big dream.
Yeah, no, the Indian community has been very nice. I think Vijay Amritraj tweeted about me, and Prakash Amritraj messaged me. So no, it's been I'm very thankful for the support, and I know it's a lot of pressure now, but I hope I can keep going.
Okay. And finally, before I let you go, Samir, how difficult or easy does the sport look to you, keeping in mind that you have been playing it for a really long time, perhaps over a decade? It was when you were 5 years old that you started it off. How do you keep the momentum going?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always difficult. I mean, tennis comes naturally to me. Like, it's more second nature, my strokes and everything, but it's just how I'm playing that day, how well I'm executing. So I think I'm just going to keep working with my coach, keep trying to get better every day. And obviously this was a good Wimbledon was a good stepping stone, but it's definitely not the end. Hopefully I can keep pushing.
Okay, now that you are on the world map, are there a lot of endorsements that are pouring in? Are there a lot of sponsorships that are pouring in? how are you going to ensure that these sideline highlights do not divert you from your game?
Yeah, no, I think there are more distractions now, more things coming up that I wouldn't think of before away from tennis. But I think I try not to think about those too much. Obviously it's pretty cool and I enjoy it, but I think it all comes back to tennis, and that's what's gotten me this far. So I'm just gonna keep trying to do that.
All right. I wish you all the best, Samir Banerjee. Thank you so much for joining me on NewsX VaKu. And I wish and hope, and so does the entire country and the Indian community across the globe, that you keep getting us these laurels, you keep winning, and may you set your goals higher, perhaps to win the US Open and the Wimbledon and several other of these seasonal tournaments that are the highlight of the tennis arena.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Well, hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX VaKu. My name is Megha. Joining me on the broadcast is the Managing Director and CEO at CG Corp Global and CG Hospitality Holding. With me is Rahul Chaudhary. It's good to have you, Rahul. Thanks for coming on the show with me.
Thank you, Megha. Really appreciate it.
My first question for you, Rahul, is obviously the legacy that you, your family, your ancestors have built over the past several decades, and the journey that was taken from India to Nepal, and now setting up the standards when it comes to the hospitality business, hospitality industry in this part of the region.
No, it's been a very interesting journey, I must say. Just to give you a little bit of a history, our family is traditionally from Shekhawati in Rajasthan, and my great-grandfather came to Nepal together with my grandfather, almost 140 years back. And the history began then, and our first inroads into Nepal was in the construction and textile field, actually. And 150 years later, we are here in Nepal in various different verticals. We have almost 15 different verticals within the group, over 10,000 employees spread across 40 different countries. And hospitality, yes, happens to be one of our core businesses, with almost 150 hotels in 12 countries and 8,000 keys, and still growing. So we've been in this industry for 2 decades now, but it's been a good journey. Yeah. I think it only becomes more interesting with COVID. I look at that as an immense opportunity as well. And we continue to grow, Megha.
I know, having chatted with you in the past, you make several trips to India. There are businesses of yours that are located over here and doing fabulously well. Across the globe, you have set up verticals. You just mentioned about that. How is the future of CG hospitality looking like, keeping in mind the subcontinent, keeping in mind the various other continents that you're looking to expand at this time?
Yes, India has always been a very, very important market for us. Starting from the point that all three of us, my 2 brothers and myself, we all went to school in Dehradun. We went to Doon. And thereafter, we set up our first businesses through YY, which is our flagship brand of noodles. We manufacture almost 2.5 billion packets a year, and spread across, again, we send it to almost 40 countries. But India is a very important hub. We have various manufacturing facilities all across the country and in hospitality space as well. We are partners with the largest brand, as they call it, the leading brand, the strongest brand now, IHCL. Through the Taj brand, we have several properties with them in the safari space in India, and also with the second largest management company, which is Concept Hospitality, through whom we have almost 80 plus hotels in India. And in terms of our growth, the growth is focused in 4 different sectors. One is FMCG. Second is our financial services. The group also owns the largest bank in the private sector in Nepal. Third is telecom. Fourth is hospitality. These would be our focuses and focus areas. And our focus territories would be the emerging and frontier markets. we are very clear right from the beginning of our journey that we want to be in emerging and frontier markets because that's the kind of landscape we understand most. I mean, after having been through that sort of journey in Nepal itself, I guess we have been attuned to face those challenges in all of these emerging and frontier countries. Notwithstanding the fact that we are in some major countries as well, developed countries, but those are more strategic investments. So I hope this gives you some sort of perspective on where we are headed.
Well, the perspective is definitely a really wide range and the horizons are high. So congratulations and all the best for that. I would like to talk to you about the kind of impact that Nepali culture, heritage, policy has had in you as an individual growing up over there, in terms of your business as well as personally, family-wise. And the idea behind choosing Nepal as your country, where you would put up base and then expand to several other areas.
In terms of going back to why Nepal, obviously this is something that my great-grandfather thought would be the opportunity because India is neighboring Nepal itself, and Nepal is probably one of the only countries that was never colonized, by the way. And Nepal has maintained its sovereignty, it's maintained its integrity in terms of being a nation by itself, and realizing its potential in resources and its sheer location between the two world powers. So I think that may have been the sheer reason where my great-grandfather thought the opportunities lie. And being a new market, and keep in mind that where we are Marwadis, and Marwadis are supposed to be one of the strongest business communities in the world. And all the business entrepreneurs who emerged from Rajasthan itself have gone all across the world. Now you may ask each of them questions why they've gone to those parts of the world, but obviously all of them saw opportunities. All of them saw that there is something that is brewing in these neighboring countries or countries they are in at the moment, and they've proven themselves in in the various sectors and in those countries. Now, in terms of the policies and the governance and system and how it's affected us, I mean, it's no hidden truth, Megha, that any developing country has its own challenges. I mean, there are all frustrations when the systems are always ongoing and changing all the time. As I mentioned to you a little while back that, we just have a new government now. And we've changed almost 23 governments in 25 years. Mm-hmm. And that just shows you the kind of system and the governance that we are running. So it's not an easy place to be in. But that's what entrepreneurs are. You try to find through the system that you have in place, you try to find ways to still grow, try to find opportunities. And that's what Nepal is. I think Nepal is a melting pot of opportunities, if you ask me, and where systems are very lax, processes are not completely coherent. I think that's where the potential is to be able to put through a system and a governance by learning from your neighbors and other countries that have done well to make it work in your home ground as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are countries that have constitutions which are there since years and years and centuries, which are still in place. But ours is still, you can say it's still evolving. So I see an opportunity there also to be a part of the constitution framing and constitution amalgamation.
Absolutely. On that note, I thank you, Rahul, for joining me on the broadcast and wish you all the very best for all these massive dreams and goals that you have yet to achieve. More power to you. And once again, wishing you all the best. And here's hoping to better, more cordial and more brotherly relations between India and Nepal in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Megha, for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and to discuss the current state of affairs and how CG can play a small role in the larger growth of the subcontinent as well as Nepal and India's relationship. So thank you.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.